Hello there, Commonwealth from here with our big E3 build-up where we go over the biggest and most hyped topics regarding Nintendo's E3 2021 blowout. And in this video we'll go over the meat of every Nintendo Direct or E3 for that matter. Brand new reveals. Even better, I'm not doing it alone, but with Rogersbase.
What is going on, everybody? Happy to be back. This is always my favorite time of the year. E3 is like Christmas for me. It's like we get lots of new game reveals. I get to throw some off-the-wall predictions out there and see what sticks. So yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Christmas for gamers is always happening during my birthday week as well, but it's digital this year, so it's going to be a little bit different. No demos and so on. So that could maybe impact a little bit what Nintendo and the others might reveal. After Mario's anniversary last year, 3D is not going to happen. It's a given that the Mario 3D team has been way too busy with Bowser's Fury and also other rumors circling about, which we are going to get right back when we get to the anniversaries this year. But I just want to ask if you think that we could see a 2D Mario game this year.
No, not a chance. Maybe if they wanted to do like a tiny brief teaser of like an Odyssey 2 or something just to say it's in development, because I think we all pretty much know that there's probably still going to be an Odyssey 2 in development regardless of whether or not those Donkey Kong rumors are true. I'm not holding my breath, honestly, for anything Mario at this E3 that includes Mario Kart outside of maybe like a Mario Party sequel. I think this will actually be a relatively quiet E3 for Mario at the whole.
I think it might be much like in 2014 where less attention was put on Mario and far more on the likes of Zelda and so on. We're going to cover Zelda in a later video because that's not a brand new reveal. We already got Skyward Sword HD, which is coming out in July, and hopefully Breath of the Wild sequel at the end of 2021 or sometime in 2022. It's going to be either of those.
I definitely feel they're testing the waters with that online update for whatever the next iteration of Mario Party is. I actually saw a clip on Twitter the other day where somebody modded Kirby into Super Mario Party, and I was like, man, the idea of like a Nintendo party would be awesome. If you could play as like Link and then Inkling and Kirby and go around different Mario-themed boards and Nintendo-themed boards, that would be really cool. But no, I don't think that's what we're getting. I think we're getting a very traditional Super Mario Party 2.
What about Mario Kart, since we are on the topic of blending Nintendo with Mario?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see like a Nintendo Kart, but I also think now is not the year for Mario Kart. Again, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to sell. It is still their #1 most sold title. They also just did, like, a lot of people forget that they did Home Circuit, but Home Circuit was just last year, and that obviously was more of a side project and shouldn't be considered like a mainline Mario Kart. But still in all, because they had just done something Mario Kart related, plus they still have the mobile game, I don't know. I'm still not entirely sold on that we're gonna get like a Mario Kart 9 anytime soon.
So you really think we'll have to wait 9 years after the reveal of Mario Kart 8 for the reveal of Mario Kart 9?
Yeah, I really don't think they're in no rush to do it. I mean, I could even see a situation where maybe they wanted to jump back in to do more DLC, because I mean, why not? You've got that install base now of, what is it, like 35 million that purchased Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? That I just don't think it's a Mario Kart year. And I'd be happy to be wrong. I like Mario Kart, but
Mario Kart can wait because of that. But some games that I don't think can wait are the anniversary games. And there we find, specifically, since Zelda and Pokemon are already covered, we have Donkey Kong and Metroid. Both are rumored, especially by Zippo, to have new games or at least remakes this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I would love for that rumor about the Donkey Kong being made by the Odyssey team thing to be true. Every rumor I've seen regarding that has said it's a 2D game, it makes me less excited because people sort of know how I feel about the 2D Donkey Kong games, and I just think they could do something really cool with the 3D Donkey Kong. But to be fair, my favorite 2D Donkey Kong game in the last 20 years was Jungle Beat, and Jungle Beat was developed by the team in Tokyo. So hey, who knows? If they're gonna, put a new spin on Donkey Kong, I'd love to see what they're gonna do with it.
That's the one thing people haven't been thinking about, is that the 3D Mario team actually has developed Donkey Kong games in the past, and that's why this rumor kind of makes sense. And especially since I really think this is about the time to bring back King K. Rool.
Yes, I completely agree. I think if we do end up getting a new Donkey Kong game, I feel K. Rool will be at the forefront. I think it'll sort of be the grand reveal of, oh, this is what you've been waiting on, no more ice walruses or whatever the things were in Country Returns. There was like tiki masks or something, yeah.
Just bring us the villain of Donkey Kong.
Of course, you already have one. Why would you not use him? You got Bowser in all the Mario games.
It's about time since Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze came out in the beginning of 2015. That is well over 6 years now. And the same goes, I would say, even though we had a Metroid release in between with Samus Returns on the 3DS, I also think it's time for something Metroid for its 35th anniversary, since Donkey Kong is celebrating 40 years for the arcades, obviously, and Metroid is celebrating its 35th anniversary for the Famicom. Retro Studios is obviously way away from giving us any kind of release window or even year, I think, for Metroid Prime 4. The best we can hope for is a tease a la what we saw of Breath of the Wild sequel in 2019.
I think if we're seeing something Metroid, it'll be that rumored 2D game that's been talked about for like years, pretty much ever since Paper Mario. I mean, I remember that rumor was lined up with the rumor that we were going to get a Paper Mario game on Switch. We got, not Color Splash, but was the name Origami King. And we just never saw that 2D Metroid game. And other people were saying maybe it got delayed to a different year, or they were holding it off for now so they could have something for the anniversary. Even that Zippo rumor, didn't Zippo say that the game is done or something? So I feel like that's probably a relative lock. So we'll see. I mean, there's got to be something Metroid at this, whether it's a Prime teaser or that 2D Metroid game, or even maybe like a re-release of some of the Metroid games on eShop or something. There will be something Metroid related.
Yeah, or a remake of, say, Super Metroid, like the Mercury's team, which probably might be working on something Metroid. It's just a question of what they're working on. Another Metroid adventure, and boom, that will make everyone happy. The Metroid Prime 4 Retro Studios team can just continue work on Metroid Prime 4 while we are getting our fix for the 35th anniversary of Metroid. And by covering Donkey Kong and Metroid, and also the launching Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel this year, Nintendo has pretty much given us what we need in 2021. I think both Mario Party and Kirby are like, either of those would be enough, because one can come this year, one can come next year.
I did a little section in my prediction video talking about like small projects. I think is something we're probably going to get at this E3. I think we're going to see smaller first-party things that aren't necessarily AAA things like Metroid, but the Kirby game that's been, I mean, it's not even rumored to be in development. They straight up said they're making a new Kirby project and that they want it to be the best Kirby project they've ever made, so I feel like maybe we'll see a teaser of that. Yep, Mario Party is another one. The other thing, too, that not a lot of people are talking about is, like, these new games that are getting localized. So Famicom Detective Club just got localized for North America and for all the other regions, and I do wonder if maybe they're testing the waters with that. There was a game that got announced last year, relatively late last year, and released in January of this year in Japan, called Buddy Mission Bond. It's got art by like the guy who did the art for One Punch Man. It's apparently a pretty good game, and I do wonder if we're going to see maybe more localizations of things like that thrown in there at this E3 just to sort of spice up their lineup.
Like Zipper also mentioned that we could see a remaster remake of Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War.
Yeah, which I would love. I mean, yeah, Fire Emblem, I guess, is something we also haven't talked about yet, but I would love to see a Fire Emblem project, and it has been a while since Three Houses, so I feel like the time is right, and I do wonder what team is going to be working on it, because the team at Koei Tecmo, I'm assuming because of the success of Three Houses, is probably working on whatever the next mainline Fire Emblem game is right now, and they probably do want something to sort of tide over the fan base, and I feel like, yeah, a remake title would be great. I know earlier in the year there was that rumor of the Ike games getting remasters with Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, and I think that would be really cool. You know, maybe throw both of them together into one game, make it where you got like the pre-time skip era with Path of Radiance going into Radiant Dawn for the post-time skip. But I think, yeah, Genealogy's much more likely, and it's actually something I would like to see, because I have no experience with that game at all. So
Fire Emblem probably gonna need another year or so before we get a new installment, since it's not been 2 years even since Three Houses.
I could totally see them announcing a Fire Emblem at E3 and then having it, you know, launch early next year.
And say, before the next Fire Emblem game, here is a remake of a game that you've never really played because it's not been properly localized to the West up to this point. I think that could be they could have actually a theme of that. Until you can play this, then play this, just like with Metroid. I think that is something they could do for Fire Emblem as well.
On that topic of, oh, you've played this, try this, I feel like Pikmin's another one we could probably throw in there too. You know, people have been talking about Pikmin and rumoring like, oh, Pikmin 4 is going to happen this year. We've been saying it for, I feel like, since the launch of the Switch. But considering now that they've tested the waters with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, that game has now become the best-selling Pikmin game of all time. You've got the announcement recently of that Pikmin mobile game, and they've already said that the mobile games are meant to sort of lure people into playing the mainline games. I would not be shocked to finally see something about Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 showing up at E3, I think, is reliant on Switch Pro getting announced at E3, because that seems like a title that could absolutely be one that takes advantage of the new power and the graphical process of the new Switch revision. And so I feel like if the new Switch Pro isn't there, we're probably not going to get Pikmin.
I already see it. Pikmin 4 4K.
There you go. Pikmin 4K. That's the name of the game right there.
You heard it here first. You heard it here.
And the thing is, instead of having 100 Pikmin you command, you actually command 4,000 Pikmin, and that's why it's called Pikmin 4K.
Oh my god. Roger, these ideas are ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous ideas, we all remember how shocking it would have been if it wasn't leaked. Mario and Rabbids was. Do you think Nintendo and Ubisoft might finally work on something again after a 3-year break since 2018?
I want them to make another Mario Rabbids. I loved that game. I think that was such a pleasant surprise in the first year of the Switch, and I remember hearing that, and as somebody who doesn't really care about Rayman all that much and has never really liked the Rabbids all that much, I thought why on God's green earth are you doing this? But the game turned out fantastic. I mean, I loved the strategy elements of it. I thought it was genuinely funny, and I would love to see a new one with more of the Mario characters being utilized, right? Having Wario or Rosalina or something as a party member, I think it'd be really fun. So I'm totally on board if they want to make a Mario Rabbids sequel. To be honest, didn't even consider that for this E3, considering all the stuff we already know.
They did a very good job with the Mario and Rabbids IP, but also Starlink with Star Fox. That was the first proper good representation of Star Fox in a very long time, and it showed also that Star Fox can be more than just rehashing Star Fox 64, or the original Star Fox for that matter, over and over again, only just reimagined. But we know that Monolith Soft has delivered very well on the Nintendo Switch so far. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they did it so well that it's even in Smash, and with the best possible representation it could have with Pyra and Mithra.
Absolutely.
And switchable in the middle of battle. And then we got excellent, and I mean excellent, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition with Future Connected. So the question is this year, when Monolith Soft reveals their new IP or another Xenoblade Chronicles game?
In the prediction video I uploaded, I talked about things that I think are locks for this E3, things I absolutely think are going to be talked about, like Smash character, Breath of the Wild trailer, Animal Crossing Summer Update, small first-party titles, and Pokemon. However, the one thing that wasn't in my lock category, but I absolutely feel oh yeah, this is for sure going to be there, is the new Monolith Soft game. I think both of us can probably agree on this. I feel like that game is actually coming a lot sooner than a lot of people think. I'm literally just excited to see it. I want to know what's going on with that title. Also, we have seen photos now online that they're apparently recording things for the game as well, like music for the game now, whatever this title is going to be. And if they're already recording music for the game, then at that point, they've got to be relatively far into development. So yeah, I feel like we probably will see the reveal of whatever Monolith Soft's title is, whether it's a new IP or it's, some other type of game in the Xenoblade universe, maybe even Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think that will absolutely be present at E3. I don't know if it'll release this year, but I know we're going to see it.
Nintendo already has that open world fix for late this year and early next year with the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Pokemon Legends Arceus. So I think they could save this game for holiday 2022.
Also, though, to be fair, I mean, Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade 2 were also 6 months within each other. It's not like they were that far apart. So that, I think, is up for discussion on whether or not Breath of the Wild's actually this holiday, right? Because if Breath of the Wild 2 is the holiday game, then I agree with you. But if it's not, and it's coming out, in March of next year or something, then I feel like the new Xeno whatever game could be their big open world fix holiday game this year. I think it's all entirely dependent on whether or not Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a 2021 release.
I think that pretty much covers it for new reveals. I don't think Nintendo would bring up much more. This video was focused entirely on brand new reveals, game reveals and DLC. So be sure to press that like button, subscribe to Commonwealth Realm and Rogersbase for more E3 videos, and of course the notification bells to be notified. And we'll see you in that Nintendo Switch Pro video, because it's gonna be quite meaty, and we have a lot of things to consider in regards to when and where it should be revealed. So we'll see you there.